Path Media. I was a minimum wage movie theater usher that made good and became a top earner in my network marketing company. Now, after 16 plus years in the profession, I'm finally teaching myself how to leverage the internet with online marketing and social media marketing to continue to grow and expand my business. My name is Ronnie Cruz, and this is Path of the Network Marketer. All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Today, I want to talk about getting only 200 to 300 views on my reels. right. Oh man, it's so discouraging sometimes. Instagram especially. My TikTok and my Facebook are pretty steady. They're really reliable. The metrics are really reliable. They're consistent anyways in terms of views and engagement, and they're steadily growing. Like I've seen my TikTok grow, especially in the last like 4 weeks. It's really starting to pick up. I've picked up consistently picked up new followers in the last couple of weeks. And Facebook, same thing. Facebook is same thing, right? The engagement and the views of my content has increased, especially since I've been doing these daily lives. Instagram's a whole different ball of wax. It's a roller coaster ride, and as a result, it's kind of a little bit of an emotional roller coaster ride as well. I get it. Like I preach about not paying attention to those vanity metrics, but it still can be disheartening. I had a post last week that did, almost 2,000 views, which is good for me. And then, the most recent stuff is not even hitting 100. So it's kind of like, man, like the frustrating part for me is, how can I look at this analytically and figure out what's working and what's not working? Because it seems to be really, really random. Perspective, right? Perspective. This is a perspective episode. Because I know if I'm feeling this way, then you might be feeling this way about your content as well. It is an emotional roller coaster ride. I do want to remind you that those, for the most part, are vanity metrics. And the things that you should focus on are showing up consistently every day and providing value, right? Providing value that will help you, continue to have an engaged conversation with your audience so that your influence can grow. That's really the main things that you can control and that you should pay attention to. Beyond that, the other perspective that I want to share is understand that even if you're getting 50 views per reel or per content, or even if it's 200 views per content, it might not seem a lot, but number one, again, by what standard? I say that a lot here on this show. By what measure, right? By, the people that you follow. I mean, I follow some very, very heavy hitters, for lack of a better word, influencers who have millions of followers online. And so if I were to compare my views and my followings and my vanity metrics to them, man, I would have thrown in the towel months ago, if not years ago, right? But you can't. It's just they're on their journey because of what they've done. You're on your journey because of what you're doing, right? So be willing to just keep showing up regardless of these vanity metrics. Number two, when was the last time, think about it this way, when was the last time you did a presentation or you delivered a message in person in front of 50 people? Right? When was the last time? When was the last time you spoke live in person in front of 200 people? When was the last time? I mean, you would think that, if you're like most people, the notion of speaking in front of 5 people, let alone 200, let alone 2,000, would be absolutely the most terrifying thing ever. So I want you to understand the perspective is that you're doing that potentially every day with your piece of content, right? But we're so, the thing about the internet is we're detached from it, right? Because it's a recorded piece of content, et cetera, et cetera. We don't realize that, with 200 views, that means I've reached and delivered a message to 200 people. Like, it's recorded, sure, but I mean, that's just as good as delivering a talk in front of 200 people, right? Again, when was the last time you did that? And if you had the opportunity, could you and would you, right? But you punish yourself and you get down on yourself for doing it every day with your social media. Cut yourself some slack. You're doing well. And I have to remind myself, this is as much a conversation for me as it is for you. I have to remind myself of that every day, especially with Instagram. Like, man, 64 views on this one post that I thought was going to be amazing, right? How can this be? How can this be? Well, I have to remind myself that's 64 people that I touched today, that I spoke to today, right? That's more than it was yesterday, or at least it's 64 more people than today, and tomorrow it's going to be however many more people tomorrow, right? So it's perspective. It's perspective. Do your best to not compare yourself to what everybody else is doing on the online space. If you have one view, you're making an impact, and that's what matters. The impact. So keep going, stay consistent, keep working on your content and providing value, have conversations, connect and engage with your audience so that you can grow your influence. That's what it's all about. So that's my message for today. More from me tomorrow. So until then, be well, be safe. We'll see you in the next episode.